Hello, everyone. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do the top 10 Boy Meets World episodes of all time based on what I think. So, it's not necessarily looking at it from the perspective of what everyone else thinks. It's basically what I think. And I just made this literally today on a little tiny sheet of paper. So, we will see what happens. So, but before we do anything, honorable mentions. Okay, this was a hard list to make because there's so many good episodes of the show, but here we go. Number 10, Brotherly Shove. Okay, so now the thing with this one is it's an episode where Eric is actually serious after being not serious for several seasons. Like, just a very non-character show for him. And when a very goofy character becomes serious, it kind of takes you into a different direction. It makes you think and look at life a little bit differently. So it kind of just takes like just a moment from all the goofiness to just be like, hey, like some things are worth cherishing. And I don't know, Eric and Cory's relationship is very strange, and I think this episode really tries to compact it all together. And for me, it's just like, doing the top 10, I want to think about the episodes that I reflect on the most, and whenever I think about Boy Meets World, that's one of the ones that jumps to my head. Number 9. I remember this one being, I still remember the promo for it saying, and Cory goes on his first date, and he opens the door, and there's Topanga. And obviously that's not really how the episode turns out, but I mean, every teenager goes through, you know, liking someone, and that really, and I think the show does a really good job of characterizing it for both Shaun and both for Cory and even for Topanga, even though her character really wasn't that developed at the time. She was just kind of, you know, the object at that point. But I think just a very sweet little darling episode that that I still remember to this day. Number 8. Okay, so this is another one where it's kind of a serious episode, but it kind of combines a lot of elements together. Topanga is always known for being right, and in this unique episode, Cory is kind of right, and like, everyone takes the time out to be, and the show generally doesn't go that serious. Like, even though I'm sure adults at the time realized all the kids got to survive, they can't kill a kid off. You know, a lot of us really, I don't think really were sure. I mean, this kid was in the ICU, you know, and everyone was talking to this Joshua like he wasn't going to make it, and it just was scary. And I think seeing a little bit of old Topanga in her older version was kind of cool. So just one of the episodes that just where they're all talking and they're all praying and everyone just kind of combining, like you see the rabbi in there saying prayers as well. Just it all combined. It's all just this neutral ground, and that's something I really like in general. All right. Number 7, Torn Between Two Lovers. This has one of the greatest scenes in the entire show. It's the second episode with Lauren, who is one of, outside the main cast, is probably my favorite guest star of the entire series, maybe even of any series I've ever seen. And I wish they would have done more with that character. But anyway, so she comes back into town, and Topanga tells Cory to go on a date with her, and they go on, they have a really fun date, but in the end, Cory realizes that he can live without Lauren, but he only can live with Topanga, and then Topanga, as you all know, breaks his heart. And that scene, you can feel the tension in that scene. You can feel the uncomfortableness of Topanga. You can feel the anger of Cory just because he did exactly what she told him to do, but that's not what she wanted. And to this day, I really don't know what Topanga was thinking, so that tells you how much I know about women. But yeah, just that one scene just brings that whole episode together, and I just think a really powerful episode. one of the more memorable ones, I would say. Number 6, It's About Time. Obviously, how many breakups and how many episodes about the relationship, and finally they get married, and they get married in the most goofiest, strangest way you can think of, and part of me still thinks they're not legally married. But yeah, they get married, but what I really liked about the episode isn't so much about about them getting married. It's more so just about Cory and Shaun's friendship. That's really, sadly, what the episode's about, and I think that really makes the difference there. So, just having them talk on the altar, Topanga, being mad. Pretty good episode there. Number 5, Brave New World. Obviously, this is more of a clip show. But again, this is another one of those episodes where one scene makes the whole episode great, and it goes down to the last scene. Yeah, there's all these little goodbyes of all, your Jacks, your Rachels, but I mean, I don't really care too much about those characters, never really did. But at the very end, when Eric and Shaun and Cory and Topanga, they all walk into that original classroom with Fenny, and they all sit down in their original seats, that was just the scene that did it, like showing how much those characters and people and everything has just grown over a period of 7 years. Was just incredible. And just that one scene, like, if you can't get emotional, you can't feel anything, it's bizarre. But I think that one scene, that last scene of the show, really brought the whole series together as a whole. Number 4, Best Friends Girl. Alright, so with this one, how can I even describe this? Almost everyone, I'd have to say, has thought about asking someone out. And I think this episode really shows that whole experience emotionally. Like, you've been friends with someone for so long, and yet you want to be able to ask that girl out. And you're basically chancing everything, the friendship, everything you've known, based on how you feel. And I think this episode, it gets a little goofy with Shaun asking out Topanga and Cory asking out Topanga's best friend. And we never see any after that, by the way. But I think just the emotion of Cory suddenly wanting to ask out Topanga and coming clean with his emotions, just I think was very realistically done, and just another one of those episodes where you want to see them win, like you want to see them win, and just that episode where the moment where he finally says, "Will you be my girlfriend?" She kisses him. It's just like, yay! All right. Number 3, The Best Show on Earth. Yep, this is the Disney episode. Kind of goes kind of counteractive. During season 3, they broke it off for a short period, Cory and Topanga, only after like 10 out of 12 episodes, actually. And suddenly Cory realizes he wants her back, and he follows her all the way down to Disney World to get her back. And it just had another one of those iconic scenes where he talks to the dolphin, and Cory and Topanga have that conversation outside Epcot, and they kiss when the fireworks go off. It's just a very good scene that's really indescribable, and it's just, it once again shows two people being able to go around themselves, and it's really indescribable. It's just one of the more memorable scenes of the show, and whenever the episode's on, I want to see it. So, there you go. Now, these next two, before I go into them, I think could flip-flop. I think you guys are going to be extremely surprised with my number 1 because of all the lists out there. Nobody ever lists this one as number 1, and there's like a lot of the ones that you list that I've seen listed as number 1 are the Scream 2 parody episode and the episode where Shaun dresses up as a girl, and they're both, and they're in my honorable mentions, and they're both very good episodes. That's why I'm even mentioning them to you right now, because like so many people say that those are the over-the-top ones, and I do tend to agree, but for the most part, they they're not the ones that jump back to me. I mean, one's literally a parody, and the other one is just some goofy thing that happens. These other two are more centralized on what the story of the show is, and that's why they're the two that jump out at me the most. I mean, there are a lot of stories to the show, and actually, like what I consider the story of the show, like the primary story, it didn't really start until season 3. But either way, here we go. Without further ado, here we go. Number 2, A Long Walk to Pittsburgh. This is the episode where Topanga, it's like an epic arc. Topanga is moving to Pittsburgh, and everyone is just wondering, like, are they going to make it? Are they going to be able to be together? What's going to happen? And again, adults at the time probably knew everything was going to work out, but kids, no, And, she runs away, she comes back, and like Fenny says a great thing, and the parents and Cory and Topanga, they all say great things about one another, and it's just, I think it's really arguably the best episode of the entire series. And if this wasn't a biased top 10, I would suggest to you right now that is the best episode of the series, that 2-part episode. But again, this is my list, so here we go. Here is my favorite. This is how I look at it. Like when I think of Boy Meets World now, and I think about what's that one episode that kind of broke through the mold of all the other stuff that happened, this is the one that jumps out at me. Number 1, Heartbreak Cory. Lorne. Just that character is written so well and performs so good. Obviously everyone loves Topanga, but they somehow found a character who is which is just as likable, and also she's like evil / likable. It's such a weird combination that I can't really say I've ever seen in any other character that I can think of, because she's knowingly doing things she shouldn't do to a guy who's in a committed relationship, but she's not a bad person. She's not. I mean, she stretches it, she makes her moves, she puts herself out there, and you gotta give her credit for that, but at the end of the day, I don't know. At the end of the day, I really like the character. I mean, it's the one time where there was really, I think, a real threat to that relationship. I know there were other breakups, but I think that was really the one realistic time where things could have happened another way, and for me, it's overall a great episode. I mean, to this day, I can't find the clip online where they have the big kissing scene. Like, apparently that's so taboo, no one will even post it on YouTube or anything. So yeah, I don't know. I think that one episode just really, I mean, I know it's kind of an outlier, and almost no one I know has it up on their top 10, but for me, that's my favorite episode. Like, that's the one that really, yes, it's a negative episode, but I think it really shows just the dynamics of the whole show in general. So